Hi guys! Happy Thanksgiving week. Hope everyone had a great holiday. I did. I enjoyed it. I cooked, I'm not kidding, I cooked for 3 days. I'm like still kind of recovering from it, but like it's all good. It was great. Of course, Kratom helped me to be able to do that. There's no way I would have been able to enjoy this Thanksgiving like I have been without this sacred plant of ours. With that said, we do have to respect it. And you know, the less is more approach is best. That's what I have come to find. I do notice, like, I mean, the more I take, the more water I have to drink. That's no joke. Like, Kratom is a very dry plant powder. I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense why we would have to consume more water when we take Kratom, because I mean, think about, like, we ingest or we consume that dry plant matter, and then I mean it absorbs, you know, our bodily fluids, and then it's just, you know, it's dehydrating on its own. But you know, that's a small trade-off, though, in my opinion. I mean, it has so many benefits, and it's safe. So, but again, I mean, I have noticed if I, like, on days when, you know, I'm more active, or like the holidays, you know, like I might need to dose, you know, a little more than usual. And so I'm careful, like, to be sure I drink water. Like, sometimes I find that I need more than the recommended daily amount, which is 8 ounce glasses of water. And so, because I've noticed if I don't drink enough water, I can, like, my stomach kind of cramps up. And, like, at first I didn't know what was going on. I thought, oh, it's just like constipation or something. But I don't really even get that because I don't have a gallbladder anymore. They took that out a few years ago. And so that kind of counteracts that whole, that condition of, like, not being able to go. So, I mean, that is a blessing. But I still sometimes can experience some. And also, dehydration can cause constipation also. I mean, it's not the greatest topic, but it's something that needs to be discussed, of course, because that, you know, is a side effect of Kratom. It can be. And for some people, it's a severe side effect. And of course, things that can help with constipation is warm prune juice. It sounds gross, but prune juice helps a lot. And I don't, for some reason, I forgot the actual technical reason for it, the explanation, but if you warm the prune juice up, like warm it in the microwave, it works better. And then I'm really good about eating veggies. Like, I love veggies anyways. Like, I love raw vegetables dipped in blue cheese dressing. So that's really helpful. Like, you gotta eat vegetables, and they can't be raw. Vegetables are better always, because if you cook them, especially if you overcook vegetables, it destroys all the vitamins and minerals. So it's kind of defeats the whole purpose, basically. So those are things that you really need. You know, oranges are good, but again, broccoli is probably like the best thing on earth. Raw broccoli, and lots of water, and warm prune juice helps with those things, with constipation. So drink, drink, drink your water. And then just hanging out. I thought this was a pretty scene. This reminds me of maybe like what Borneo would look like, maybe in the Borneo jungles in Indonesia, the Borneo island where Kratom comes from. I bet it's so beautiful. I mean, I've seen pictures, I've never been. And I thought this was relaxing. And so some other things I want to talk about is, well, of course, the fact that Kratom is not an opioid. It doesn't, I get so tired of hearing the media or doctors, anti-Kratom people. They sit there and they say, oh, you know, Kratom binds to the receptors the same way as an opioid does. No, it doesn't. It's a scientific fact that it does not bind to the receptors in the brain like an opioid does. And that is the reason why kratom is available and the reason why it is legal, because it's not the same as an opioid. It binds only partially to the receptors in the brain, the same as caffeine does in chocolate, cheese, and breast milk. Those are some things that bind in the same way. Caffeine in coffee is a partial agonist. And also it does not impair you. It does not intoxicate you. And it doesn't give you euphoria like an opioid does. I mean, it definitely, like, it makes you feel alive and it gives you energy, you know, but it doesn't change your personality. It doesn't alter your mind in any way. Like, it doesn't alter your mind to the point of where your personality is changed or you're impaired or intoxicated or out of it in some drugged up high. That's not kratom. And so that's another reason why I get annoyed and I don't like it when I hear other people talk about the euphoria that kratom causes, because I think it hurts us. You know, I don't think that helps us at all. Because unfortunately, since, you know, we are fighting to keep it legal, it gives, you know, our enemy an opportunity and an angle to come at us, you know, and say, oh, okay, see, it produces euphoria like opioids do. And we know it doesn't, but that's how the media does, and the FDA, they will twist that and paint it into something negative that it's not. And then some other things I want to talk about like how to heal. Like sometimes I see different videos and things, like talks in the MAC community, or like, you know, people who are trying to recover. And something I read, someone had a question, or someone was talking about, like, when does the healing begin? And I thought to myself, well, I mean, most of the time people who abuse drugs, alcohol or anything like that, or is self-medicating with something or anything, I mean, it could be food, you know, I mean, it just depends on what your drug of choice is or what your substance of choice is. And, you know, depending on how you're behaving with it, if you have an unhealthy relationship with something and you're abusing something and hiding your feelings, you know, behind this abuse or whatever, that is basically an addiction or an unhealthy behavior. But so usually it's because, you know, we've had trauma in our lives and we're trying to cover the pain, or we're masking it, or, you know, just like some people who eat their feelings away. Well, that's really no different than taking a drug to make those feelings go away. It's just a different type of substance. That's how I feel about that. And the only way that we can heal from traumas in our life, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or all three, is if we address those traumas. Like, we can't just ignore the trauma, like, forever. I mean, we can try, because that's what a lot of people do. You know, I'm not judging, but, you know, I did that for years, and I mean, I'm very good at talking about things. I'm always, like, open and trying to talk about things, but I know a lot of people aren't like that. And you know, it's painful. It's not easy to, plus it's, you know, it's a heavy discussion. Nobody wants to talk about heavy subjects. However, there are positives to dealing with trauma. And that's by processing it, because the only way you can process a trauma is by talking about it. Now, I'm not saying you can just, talk about it with anyone. I mean, yeah, sometimes with a trusted friend, that can be very therapeutic. However, you know, depending on what it is, you know, you might need a professional. But in order to heal or to process trauma, you have to address it. And in order to address it, you have to talk about it. And so the healing can't really begin that much if you don't address it or talk about it. Like, I've had lots of trauma in my life, and that is something that I do want to talk about a little bit. Probably won't go into it a whole lot in this video. I do still want to kind of make an introductory type video, and I did talk a little bit about it in an earlier video. I spoke a little bit regarding sexual abuse, sexual assault, and that's basically, those are the traumas that I dealt with. Some things in my childhood, of course. But the main thing that hurt me was the sexual assault that I had to go through as an adolescent. I was way young, like starting at like age 13. But I'm just really glad that I did get therapy for that, because that helped. I got it later in life, but at least I got it early enough to where I wasn't an old woman, where I didn't have much more life to live. Because after I got therapy, which, that was quite a while ago, it was probably like 10 years ago, but, it did wonders. It really did help, because it helped me to understand that it wasn't my fault, what happened to me, to stop going around, like, feeling bad about myself, because that's what it does to you. Like rape or sexual assault, sexual abuse, anything like that in a person's life, it definitely does a number on your mental well-being. Like it just messes with your head, and usually you end up having low self-confidence, low self-esteem. I'm so glad that I've grown so much, and in fact, this video is a testament. Just being able to, speak and articulate my feelings and thoughts, and, I've come so far. Like, years ago, I was basically a different person. This is the real me, but I was just very much buried, and I was so shy. Like, I really didn't have a voice. Like I was afraid of my own voice. And, I'm very outgoing, but I'm the person who I'm supposed to be now, and that's a great feeling. And there's no way I would be doing videos like 5-7 years ago. Like, I was just scared, and just, didn't have the self-confidence or the self-esteem to be able to perform or, present myself in a good way. So I'm really glad, I'm proud of myself that scared girl no longer, really exists. That I'm like self-assured now. I'm confident and have healthy esteem, and I feel sure of myself, and that's huge. That's really huge. And I want to give other people hope, like you guys, like especially women. I know guys, you'd be surprised how many men experience sexual assault and abuse, and I feel so bad for guys who do, because I'm thinking it's way harder for them to address it, because they're a guy, and so it's probably harder to talk about. Like, it's not as out in the open, so it's probably have to keep it more of a secret. And that's heartbreaking, because the longer you keep it a secret, it's like that saying, it's so true, like, we're as sick as our secrets. And it's true, like, if they're really bad secrets, like, the residuals, they don't go away. However, so my point I was saying is that, like, women, men who, like, I know some people, they block it out because it's a self protection mechanism where they don't remember it. But the ones who do remember, I hope that you can hear me and know that you can heal from it. Like, it takes a while too. It's slow in the process, but it's possible. Like you don't have to stay broken. You don't have to stay so traumatized. And it doesn't have to be like such a life sentence. So I'm living proof of that. But okay, I just want to hop on here and say a little bit. And Kratom saves lives. Kratom makes you healthy. Kratom is the gateway to health. And it's such a great, great tool to be utilized. It's helped me with my fatigue and brain fog. Like, I don't feel sluggish anymore. Like when I was taking morphine, it took so much mental strength to get through some of my days when I was taking that. It like added to my fatigue. But that's the great thing about Kratom, is that it doesn't slow you down like some medications do. And again, if those medications are better for some people, then hey, more power to you. That's great. I mean, take what works for you. If you're able to take it in a healthy manner and you have a healthy relationship with those medications, that's great. I mean, I understand. I mean, I'm not knocking, like, Vicodin. I still take that sometimes, and I can take it in a healthy manner. So it's okay. I mean, we're adults. We should be allowed to have free choice and to choose, what works best for us, and to have that opportunity to, keep taking that, like, for whatever reasons it may be. Because let's face it, I mean, life is short. Life goes by so fast, and we want to enjoy life. Like, nobody wants to have poor quality of life. Nobody deserves that. I mean, we deserve to have a good life to where we're not suffering and pain and sadness, and if we are trying our very best to be beautiful people and to make life beautiful and be kind and giving and try and contribute and be the best person we can be, and we want it to try and feel good too, so we can go out and make life beautiful, and we can be productive and be good for those who surround us, be a positive light. And so I want to thank you all. If you stopped and took time out of your busy day to watch this video this far, I'm so grateful and thankful to you. And I love each and every one of you. You guys are so supportive on Facebook and everywhere on all my platforms. It's awesome. I really appreciate you guys. And I love you, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.